How's it going? How's it going? So raise your hand if you're here. What's going on, Rishi? How's it going? Adam, Omer, Perry. We got some new faces here. That's good stuff. So we're gonna wait a couple seconds here for a few more people to join. Just so you guys are aware, for the new people, we actually on Mondays we do pretty extensive new lectures, and so you learn something new essentially every single Monday. And then on Thursdays, that's when we kind of open the floor. I give you guys mic time. We're going to unmute you guys one at a time. You'll ask your questions regarding the curriculum. I'll go ahead and answer those implementation questions because that's pretty much like a lot of the hands-on stuff. Like when you guys are in the trenches, building this stuff out, there is a lot of implementation questions that will pop up, in which case just go ahead. Thursdays are for implementation questions. And then obviously if you have any potential question beyond a Thursday, like let's say it's a Sunday or a Saturday and you're busy working on something and you need a quick answer or something, just go ahead and post it in the Facebook group. You can post your question there, in which case I'll be able to answer it there as well. Okay. So welcome, Adam. First time here. Awesome. Rishi, yes, you can unmute yourself. I will unmute you guys once we start opening up the floor for the questions. And then starting with one question at a time, I will go ahead and unmute you. So let's do that now, I guess. I guess we can start. People will start rolling in on a over time. But I did just get back from vacation, guys. So that was the whole delay on Monday and whatnot. So I'm glad to be back. Glad to help you guys. Let's get started. We have a big amount of work to do. So let's go first come, first serve. Just go ahead and type your question in the chat if you have one. And then what I'll do is I'll put you as a panelist. Then you can hop in. We could just chat it out. I'll share my screen if I need to answer your query. But ultimately, let's get started on that process right now. So who has the first question? If so, let's go type it in. And this could be a question about sales, could be a question about lead generation, could be a question about building systems, right? Rishi says, I'm new here. This is my first call. I'm wondering where I can access the recordings for the previous calls. Good question. So here, Rishi, I'm going to actually put you as a panelist. And then let's get you to, so hey, Rishi, can you hear me? There should be an unmute button. Hey, Rishi, what's going on?
Good. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. How's it going?
Awesome. Good. Yeah, so I was on a call with Ryan last week and I signed up. I'm just wondering where we can access the previous recordings or how I can get plugged in and get the most out of this.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, welcome. So it's good to have you here. It's going to be a long journey. It's about 12 months that we have this program together for you. And essentially, I'll be here as like your outsourced CMO for anything relating to driving more mortgage deals to your pipeline, refinances, consolidations, renewals. We know that business super well. So absolutely, we can definitely help you out with that. Now, for the sake of where to get the actual content, you were able to log into the Teachable course, correct?
Yes, I am.
Okay, fantastic. So how it works is we have like all these coaching calls are recorded. So every single so Mondays are new lectures and Thursdays are kind of like implementation questions, right? So It's kind of like rapid fire. It's all over the place. There's no real standard curriculum for Thursdays. So with that being said, it's like the Monday ones are obvious new lectures, right? So those ones, we immediately upload them to the actual Teachable instance that you already have access to. Okay.
Okay, so they're in Teachables. Because I was going nuts looking on the Facebook page for this. I'm like, where is this?
Yeah. Awesome. So, but there's two different. So there's two different coaching calls, right? So there's the curriculum ones, which like obviously we're learning a new strategy or we're learning something that hasn't been added to the curriculum yet. In which case we're going to go over that on Mondays, and that's recorded, uploaded to the course. And then the Thursday ones. Should we have a juicy session that like makes sense for that to be uploaded? First of all, those are always available upon request. So for example, let's just say you're like, hey, we went over something pretty extensive on Thursday. I had a couple questions. I just want to see the recording. So could you send that to me? You could always reach out to Divi. Have you spoken to Divi yet?
I have. Yes, we had a call.
Fantastic. She's kind of like your administrative liaison between me and you. Okay. And it's kind of like she will, anything you need to request, whether it's, we went over a specific like last week, for example, or sorry, I was on vacation last week. 2 weeks ago, we went over this purchase analyzer for a lot of these mortgage agents, right? So there's a concept called lead magnets, right? Where you offer a lead magnet in the form of an advertisement, and you say, hey, download this purchase analyzer, right? You just got to simply put in, your parameters around your property. So like how much, what's the income, the rental income, what's the, mortgage, put in the, expenses, taxes, all that kind of stuff. And then it spits out an ROI. So someone who would download that lead magnet is someone that obviously is in the market for like determining if their property is a good investment. In which case you can offer those lead magnets in the form of advertisements, and then the people downloading them, you just have your SDR, your cold caller that you're going to hire in the Philippines. That person's just going to hit up that list of all the people that downloaded the purchase analyzer just to see where they're at, introduce who you are. Rishi, say I'm calling from Rishi's office. We're looking to, go ahead and get you started on a new mortgage. Are you looking for refinance? How, what's the value of the property? They ask all those questions, and ultimately they propagate that lead onto your calendar. Okay. So I'm going to show you how that all, it's a long journey here, but it's ultimately a rewarding one. So Thursdays, the curriculum that is going to be uploaded, available upon request. If it's a fire session, we'll upload it up just right away. But if you need it, just shoot Divya a message, shoot her an email. She'll absolutely send that off to you. Okay.
Okay, awesome. And for me, I'm in the real estate and mortgage business. So I kind of wanted to get a handle on how to do both. And Ryan was telling me you guys are great at on both fields, right? You have dealt with lots of clients.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So you're looking for more listings or new buyers or?
Listing, you know what, honestly, I just want to generate a lot of leads because I'm building a team. I'm with EXP Realty. I don't know if you're familiar with them. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking at attracting agents, like real estate agents, and I'm also looking at
what CRM are you using?
We have KV Core.
Okay, you should look into Follow Up Boss. Have you heard of that one?
No, I haven't.
That one is really geared towards real estate. So it's not geared towards your mortgage business.
Okay.
But it's highly geared towards your real estate business. And if you have agents and you have to propagate leads and projects to agents, and then, be able to see full visibility as to what's going on, and lead rotations, and they have these workflows, they have like custom sequences. So it's really geared towards real estate. You can see what you install this pixel on your website. You can see what projects on your website or what properties the lead in your CRM is even looking at without them telling you. So it's really, really an interesting platform for the sake of CRM related work with realtors. Not so much the case with mortgage agents. I mean, there's a few other ones that are specific for mortgages, but we use Close.io. I'm not sure if you've seen that yet. Close.io.
No, I haven't.
So Close.io is probably the best CRM I've come across. It just cuts out all the fat. It just focuses on closing the deal. I mean, we have lots of sales reps. They close deals left, right, and center. It's not a, I used to use HubSpot. I was with HubSpot for like, what was it? A couple of years. I think it was like 3 years. We were with HubSpot and we went with Salesforce. We tried a bunch of different CRMs, but the one that really just wins across the board every single time, it's Close.io, and you're going to see it throughout the curriculum.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Okay, good stuff. All right, so we have Adam here. So Rishi, I'm going to put you back as a panelist. Listen, if you have attendee, if you have another question at all, like just go ahead and just pop it right in there and I'll put you back as panelist, okay?
Awesome, thanks.
Okay, welcome. All right. Okay, so we have Adam. Adam, I'm going to throw you up here. Hey, Adam, what's going on?
Hey, can you hear me?
Absolutely. What's going on with you?
Actually, this goes off. I have two questions because one was just off the last person's back pretty much. So with Close.io, I just made my account yesterday and I'm trying to figure out how you actually make more of like a visual flow because I see it's a very, very much like a list flow as opposed to like moving people down the pipeline.
Yeah.
So do they have?
Yeah, they do have a pipeline view. So to answer your question, so first of all, Close.io is all about lists, okay? And because it's simple, it makes it so simple because all you have to do and all your SDR that you're going to hire in the Philippines has to do, and all your sales reps, if you're hiring any sales reps, all they have to do is simply hit the list, right? So it takes away all the crap. And it's like, sure, you could focus on the deals on a one-to-one level, but it's like if you have the appropriate list set up, so you have, let's just say, your fresh leads, which is like all your fresh leads, whether it be new leads that signed up on a paid advertising campaign, whether it be some outreach that you're doing on LinkedIn, they're all going through a Calendly, right? Make sure you set up your Calendly. If all those leads are coming inbound through a Calendly or some kind of booking tool, those leads should go on, an upcoming demo list, right? If they ended up booking that demo, right? But if they're not a booked demo yet, and they're just a fresh lead, just a cold lead that you data mined and uploaded into your system, those leads, they need a home, right? They need a place for your SDRs to just hit the list, right? So in our CRM, we have a list called fresh leads, okay? And that's where we have not even touched those leads. We have not contacted them, no SMS, no email, no phone call. They're literally the coldest leads you could ever imagine. And I have people in the Philippines and in Bangladesh building lists, okay? So we're talking like going on Google, finding lists, whether it be, home renovation companies, pest control companies, mortgage agents, real estate agents, entrepreneurs, CEOs, chief operating officers, that kind of stuff. They build a massive list just off of Google searches. They give me the data I need, which is like usually first name, last name, phone number, company name, email, what page on Google were they on, what do they have a bad social media presence, these kinds of things. They'll fill up a Google sheet for me. I download that Google sheet every single day as a CSV, and then I upload that CSV into Close.io. And then Close.io, I have a list called fresh leads, and that list is automatically going to pull those new imports, those new uploads into that one list called fresh leads, right? So now if you have and slowly but surely, you're going to build out a team of SDRs. So these are people that are low cost. They're like $100 a month, $200 a month, nothing crazy. Sure, add in a little bonus commission on top to make sure that they're, incentivized to book more appointments and whatnot. But the reality is that these people, they're going to be consistently booking appointments with these data mined leads, right? With these cold leads that you're not necessarily running ads for or anything like that, right? So I always tell my customers, especially in the Dealflow Academy, it's like, look, when you start out, don't go start paying for paid ads and start, paid ads is designed to amplify what's currently already working. Okay. So you first need to build out an organic prospecting system and an organic prospecting strategy within your team, right? And once that's well oiled and that makes sense, it starts to work. So you have your fresh leads, you have your upcoming demo list, right? By each rep. Like, I'm not sure if you have any reps or anything like that, but if it's just for yourself, then you just have your fresh leads. You'd have, Adam's upcoming demos. You'd have, Adam's, let's just say, reschedule list, right? So anyone who didn't show, you mark them as a no-show, they go to your reschedule list now. So now you have a clear indication of, okay, these are my upcoming demos or my upcoming sales appointments. These are my rescheduled sales appointments that I need to reschedule them because they're a no-show, they didn't show up. And then here is my follow-up list. And my follow-up list, it's simple. These are the people that I'm marking as demo completed or sales appointment completed. So if you actually complete the sales appointment from your upcoming demo list, you're on a call with someone, you open the Close.io record from your upcoming demo list, you click on it, and then you go ahead and change that to either demo no-show if they didn't show up, or demo completed, not closed, if you completed the demo, right? And when you mark that status change, it's going to automatically switch the list. It's going to switch whatever list that lead is on. So you mark it as a no-show, it'll be on your reschedule list. If you mark it as demo completed, not closed, it's going to be on your follow-up list, right? Adam's follow-up list, right? Because if you completed the sales appointment and you actually went through the motion of asking them, hey, what do you want? What do you need? How can I help you? What are you looking for? And you've said your pitch and you've gone through it, then the reality is that they're now a follow-up, right? So you just have to follow up till they close. And Close.io is all about lists, right? But to answer your question, if you look on the side panel, I don't know if you have it open right now, but if you look at the side panel where it says inbox and then opportunities,
okay,
just click on opportunities and you should see a Kanban pipeline. Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, and that's like nice to use, nice to, if you have a sales team, it's nice to like bring the Kanban up. You say, hey guys, look what we have on this list. We got 67 opportunities today, no show. We got 155 new demos. We got, 15 demos completed, not closed, right? And then you go over those stats every single day. So why don't you tell me a little bit about your business? Why don't you tell me about, what the structure is, what you're looking to do, and ultimately where you're at right now?
Yeah, absolutely. So pretty much we are a software development company. So we help people build their websites, build apps and whatnot. And then after we added a new twist that we're kind of testing right now is once we actually build their app, we actually help them market it and get their first users and whatnot. So what our goals right now, or in regards to our structure right now, we actually did the opposite approach of what you just mentioned, which is we have ads running at the moment and pretty much like we book meetings from there. I'm actually going to be hiring 3 sales reps who are all like in university right now. So I'm paying them on commission
Beautiful.
to start doing that outflow that you're talking about. And that's kind of like the structure we have.
It's really cool to hear you using some of the lingo already. Outflows, right? Outflows equals
Exactly.
inflows, guys. If the more outflows you do, the more inflows you get. And outflow is defined as your offer being pumped out, right? And look, your offer can get pumped out, Adam, in so many ways, right? Like you could obviously do cold calling. If you're not doing any cold calling, absolutely get on that. It's a gold mine. Okay.
Mhm.
If you're doing paid ads now, then that's fantastic. If the unit economics of your paid ads are actually like profitable, then continue that, right? That's just another diversified channel of outflows, okay? Of your offer being pumped out, okay? So every single day, you should be tracking how many outflows you're doing. So like on an organizational level, like you're about to load in 3 new close. Are these sales reps? Are they closers or are they SDRs?
They're going to be SDRs.
Okay. And they're commission only SDRs, meaning that they only get paid when they book you appointments, or how does that work?
Pretty much the structure that we're thinking right now is that they only get paid when we close the deal. But I'm thinking about changing that because that might be a little bit demotivating if they book 3
I'm going to tell
appointments.
you right now,
And
Adam, I've been there. I've built sales teams. I had a valet parking service business. I built sales teams for valet parking. I built sales teams for marketing. I built sales teams for multiple clients, mortgage agents, real estate agents, other entrepreneurs. I'll tell you something so straight up that model will have a very low retention. Okay. And here's the thing, your SDRs should first of all be offshore, okay? Because SDRs are like, you could pay them like $100 to $200 a month, okay? For 8 hours a day worth of cold calling and outbound appointment setting, okay?
mhm.
So, and you can also train your SDRs to call your advertising leads, right? So you could have advertising leads coming in through your paid ads right now that you're saying that you have running right now. I'm not sure how much you're spending, but let's just say that you're not running booking ads, right? You're not running appointment setting ads. So those leads that are coming in from Facebook and whatnot, they're not coming in and booking on Calendly, but rather they're just filling like a lead form, right? So they're putting
Yep,
their
exactly.
name, their email, their number. Is that how it's set up now?
Yeah, we spend about $15 a day and it costs us around, $15 to get a lead.
So you're not doing appointment setting ads, you're doing lead form ads, correct?
Exactly. I found that with appointment setting ads, people would sign up, but then the amount of people that actually come to the meeting would be, I don't know,
Agreed.
50% or less.
Agreed, man. And you know what you need, Adam? You know what you need to increase that show rate and that close rate? You need a well-oiled sales process. You need a nurture sequence. You need retargeting ads developed. You need a whole VSL on your website. You need a testimonials page. You're going to need a few assets that you send to the prospect when they sign up as a lead form. They're now going through these nurturing sequences and these retargeting touch points so that by the time they're on that call that they booked out a week later from the ad, boom, they're already ready to go. They've already confirmed, they've already RSVP'd, they got a 10-minute reminder, they got a 24-hour reminder, they got your case studies, they got your testimonials, they saw previous projects you've done, they saw what the value of your solution is, and what the outcome of working with you is, and they're just ready to proceed at that point, right? So I would say, so first of all, definitely still run lead form ads and don't run appointment setting yet, because you need to build a more intricate sales process before you start running those appointment setting ads, okay? And then when you run lead form, what you should do is you should have those lead form ads propagate into fresh leads in Close.io, your fresh leads list, right? Because just like you're going to be data mining and you're going to hire a data miner for like $100 in the Philippines, that data miner is going to constantly 8 hours a day be building you a list in Google Sheets of like quality leads that you're going to reach out to, right? So you have your data mining going on and they're uploading that into Close.io, and then your SDR who's offshore, who's located in the Philippines, Bangladesh, India, doesn't matter. I actually prefer the Philippines when it comes to SDRs because the Philippines has a really good English quality. Like it's like their second language.
Their education system is actually all in English.
It's yeah, absolutely right. And so they're fantastic SDR hires are located in the Philippines. And if you go through the curriculum, I go through the exact website, how to find them, how to hire them, what job post to put, all that kind of stuff. But anyways, so let's just say you get an SDR, okay? That SDR is realistically going to cost you about $200, realistically, okay? Per month, right? And we're talking 40-hour work weeks, right? We're talking 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. They're used to staying up, in the time zone that they're not located in, right? And they'll go ahead and they'll call 100 times a day. So if you stack one of those SDRs, sure, it's not commission only. So you are putting up $200, but you pay them biweekly. So it's like $100 every 2 weeks. And think about how your organization would change if you had at least one SDR that was that low cost, so the unit economics on that SDR make a lot of sense in terms of profit, because what they're doing is they're calling 100 times a day. And let's just say all they do, Adam, is they book you, let's just say 4 appointments a day. That's it. 4 to 6, right? Like one SDR. And that's 8 hour. That's an 8-hour day. They can realistically do that, especially if you have a good script, if you have a battle tested script, it's a working cold calling script, and it makes sense. So, and now here's what I want to get you to start thinking about. It's like imagine you had this fresh leads list in Close.io, right? And in that fresh leads list, you had all your data mined leads. So all the leads that came in that were cold because you data mined them, you had this data miner in the Philippines constantly building that list. So that was being uploaded into fresh leads, which your SDR is hitting that list, right? And then you also, like you said, are running lead form ads, right? So those lead form ads, the people that sign up on your advertising, should also be going into your fresh leads list, in which case your SDR is hitting those guys up as well, trying to book those appointments with those Facebook lead ads, okay? That's a really good system. And especially if you have the nurturing sequence functionality in the back end, especially if you have the retargeting ad functionality in the back end, it's like you now just took your business, created a facelift for it. You don't have to worry about, inbound sales opportunities, because it's taken care of. Your data miner is mining data, right? Your SDR is cold calling that data to book appointments. And then you also have your lead form ads meshed in that data. So it's just all kind of in that one list. And then you have 1, 2, or 3 SDRs. Sorry, how many SDRs you say you're going to hire? 3?
3, but what I'm expecting right now, based on what you just told me, I feel like they're going to churn pretty quickly because they're bratty Canadian kids.
Absolutely. That's definitely going to happen. Like, I'll tell you, I have lots of experience hiring people locally. And when it comes to local hires, like, look, we have commission only sales reps. All of our closers, they're all commission only. So we don't pay base salary for closing deals. Like, we have a really extensive training process for our closers. And we focus on just ensuring that they're well educated. And we build like this competitive environment for the closers. But really, it's pretty lucrative commission. So if you are a closer and you can make sales, then you will thrive under our sales program, right? And you don't want a base. No one wants a base salary when it comes to closing deals, because if you make your sales process as turnkey as possible. When I say turnkey, I mean like you have it, like, here, let me show you what turnkey means, okay? Because SDRs should not be commission only, okay? They should be the guys that are absolutely getting paid for their time. Now, you should have bonus day on Monday, where every Monday you have your offshore hires that are essentially getting rewarded based on who booked the most appointments, who had the most show rates, right? Who had the most, which SDR had the most closed deals, like how many, like, let's just say an SDR booked 10 appointments last week, right? And then 3 of those 10 appointments ended up closing. And let's just say they won the Monday bonus for most closed SDR deals, right? You got to set up your sales process so it's literally like hotcakes. It's like a competitive sports team, And when you have it like that, it's almost like you're going to be printing money. And like, my goal with everyone in this program, it's like, I don't care what you're doing now. It's like, if you're not implementing the stuff that's currently working like a charm, like the stuff we're going, and this is all surface level stuff. You guys haven't seen anything yet. Go through the full curriculum, implement the stuff. Don't just watch the videos and then move on. Like, don't move to the next video unless you've accomplished what's in the previous video. Okay. So, and it's kind of like, watch a video, implement, watch another video, implement, watch a third video, implement. That's how it works. Okay. So don't like speed forward or anything like that. It's just you're doing yourself a disservice in that way. So one thing I'll tell you guys is, okay, let me show you what a well-oiled machine sort of looks like, right? And you guys will slowly but surely migrate to this kind of system. Okay, so let me pop it open here. Hold on. Share screen. All right, you guys see my screen? You guys see my screen? Yeah, thumbs up. You guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, nice. All right, so let's go to our master sales script. Okay, I'm just trying to show you how, like, I can take someone who's never done sales in their entire life, give them this 26-page sales script and say, like, sink or swim, right? And because everything is documented, like, look, so for example, I have my entire sales process documented. So this is like an actual chart of how the entire sales process works end to end. Okay. So this is like built out like end to end. It's like, here's what the closer needs to do end to end. They need to go through each step. So that's built out for them. So they know the whole flow of how the sales process works. But then after that, I also have this little section here for assets to show. So, and remember, this is a script for my closers. So my closers are reading this word for word, showing these assets word for word, right? Like here, start the introduction, get pace and set the pace and get control. It's like, how are you doing today, right? It's like you literally set the pace of the demo by starting off like this, and then you ask the current situation questions, then you ask the future state questions, then you go ahead and acknowledge your situation, you go through case studies, you make them watch a testimonial video montage. After they watch that testimonial montage, you start explaining the history of the company. You show my profile, given that I'm verified on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all these things. They go through those things with the customer. After that, they go ahead and walk through the thesis mechanisms and flow state of how this works. Then they go through the funnel. Then they go through exactly what, like, our sales process, how it works. After that, they essentially go through more testimonials on the page. They give their first offer. They show sales navigator searches. They show data mining lists. They basically give their first offer. That didn't go through. Then they put the hammer. So they reiterate case studies. And this is the hammer. This is the hammer. So they literally hammer them with this one clothesline. And then here's where they send the PandaDoc contract. On the call, they'll ask the prospect to stop what they're doing on the call, go through the contract together. Let's go over the line items. We don't have time to waste because we book tons of appointments, guys. Like, we're booking like at least 20 to like 35 appointments a day on our calendar, just like organization wide. And like, these are like warm demos. So like, they've already been nurtured. They've already been, kind of shown sort of what the process is, right? And so, and we're closing daily, right? It's like hotcakes over here. And so what I'm going to show you guys is how to set this system up, how to set these processes up, how to set this mechanism so that you don't have to do this anymore, right? Like, I love how Rishi said that he's hiring agents. You know what I mean? That's so exciting, right? Because now, Rishi, you focus on this stuff so that your agents, you'll be in Florida, you'll be in Miami, you'll have people doing showings for you on the real estate side. You just take the calls and do the negotiations on the call, if not already have your agents doing that for you, right? And they have this predictable system whereby they're actually using it, okay? And so after we reiterate the hammer, this is the hard close. After the hard close, we get into the next steps. Here's what you're gonna expect moving forward. You're gonna get an onboarding, you're gonna go ahead and fill that out. Then you get your kickoff call, you explain what happens after the sale, and then you ask for the close again. Most people are gonna say no at this stage, and then you give incentive-based pricing and you offer a guaranteed amount, wait for the second no, remove the risk, wait for another no, offer better terms. So you see what I mean? This is like end to end, like word for word, like 26 pages of just closing, okay? And look, rebuttals and objection handling. So let's just say I'm on a call, and let's just say, Adam, that one guy is like, hey, I can do it myself. Oh, you can do it yourself? Well, look, I agree with you. Let me ask you something. What do you do for a living? Why do people do business with you, Adam? Is it because you know what you're doing? Okay, great. Well, I know what I'm doing, right? I know how to generate these opportunities for you, right? I'm not asking you to buy a $10,000 worth of YouTube ad spend. I'm asking you to buy $10,000 worth of 26 brains that will be fighting to ensure you have a large flow of sales opportunities every week. So Adam, can you really do it yourself? Right? So do you see how I broke your rebuttal? Just like that, right? Yeah. And let's just say someone says, I don't like the strategy, I don't like the approach. I'm gonna break your assumption, right? Another thing, I worked with an agency before. I tried the strategy before. It doesn't matter. This is going to break your assumption very easily, right? Look, want to hold off until further notice, or the price is too high, right? Look, let me say one thing to you, Adam. I'm not a supermarket. I don't pick the price of the day for you. That's not how this program works over here, okay? When you say you want to hold off until next week, that doesn't put any money in your pocket, Adam. So now, as far as the size of the payment, believe me, it will always be up to you, right? Because we have all kinds of prices, right? But it's not about the money. It's about the value. I don't know how deep your pockets are, Adam, but if they're deeper than 3 inches, there is no question that I think you should get involved in this marketing program. Okay. Now, look, if you talk to someone like that, Adam, if your sales reps are talking to people like that on the call, you will be closing deals left, right, and center, especially if you have a predictable system like this, where look, these rebuttals, they keep going. You know, I even have a separate rebuttal list. I even have a separate power phrase rebuttal list where it's like, there's hundreds of them. Like that was the
That's
sales
awesome.
script. You saw that 26-page sales script. That's just for closing the deal. I put my top rebuttals in there. I put all that stuff in there. It's like,
do we have access to this?
Out sequentially. This is kind of like a repository, right? So this is 29 pages just of rebuttals. Okay. So you see here, give me a call back. I got no money. Oh, ask my wife. Oh, not liquid. Or, oh, you know, I don't know what I'm doing. Blah, blah, blah. This and that. Let me think about it. Send me information. No one can get by my sales team because it's all built into this system. You understand? It's like, there's no questions asked. So let me say this to you, Adam. When you're going to hire people on commission only, you better have this intricate process, right? Because or else you're going to have low retention. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Like if you're
Do we
not
have
giving
access
these guys
to
the tools they need to succeed, like predictably every single day. And here's the thing: the only time they're commission only too is when you're putting the appointments on their calendar too. Okay. So we have SDRs generating the appointments. We have all kinds of different closers who are taking those appointments and going ahead and smashing the deal, right? But it's because of the assets I'm equipping them with that allows them to do that very easily, right? Another example, right? We have, you know, our nurture sequences, right? We have our website, right? If people go to our website and they just go and watch this VSL, like any lead, this is a video sales letter. This is designed to get, like, you might have a booked appointment with my sales team, but if you watch this VSL, the likelihood of you closing has tremendously increased just by you watching that. And I also have that track of who is watching that, right? As well, testimonials, right? We have a testimonials page. If you go on our testimonials page, it's like there's an endless plethora of customers that actually had a good experience working with me, doing the stuff we're going through right now, Adam, right? So it's like, it's almost like this well-oiled machine, and you need to get into the mindset of like, it's time to start collecting case studies. It's time to start beefing up the offer. So every business, I don't care if you're in mortgages, real estate, SaaS, you know, plumbing, it doesn't matter. You're making a claim to the marketplace. You're saying, hey, I can do this for you. If I'm a dentist, I'll say, I'll make your teeth whiter. If I'm an accountant, I'll say, hey, I'll get you, save you on taxes. If I'm a mortgage agent, I'll say, I'll get you low rates and get you in your dream home. If I'm a realtor, it's like, hey, I'll make sure you have I'll get you the best ROI in your property. You're a real estate investor. You want to have good, investment, right? I'll get you I'll do this for you. I'll get this claim done for you, right? But if you can't back up your claim predictably, like online, like that's so well oiled, so easy to back up, it's not going to be easy to close the deal. And so this program is all about developing those sales assets, those sales ready assets for your team, your sales team, to rely on when they close deals. And then all you do is you hire low cost SDRs offshore. You hire commission only closers that frankly could actually work from home. Like I have closers in Europe. I have closers in the States. I have closers in Toronto. I have closers in St. Catharines, right? It doesn't matter where they're located. Like and if anything, having them located in Europe, for example, as well, allows for you to be able to accept different time zone appointments, right? So, like let's just say you work only 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time. But if you have a closer in Europe, he has a different time zone, right? So he has different availabilities, which means now your company calendar just went from 9 to 5 Eastern Standard Time to like, oh shit, you have appointments going on while you're sleeping, Adam. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, for sure.
it's a pretty So long story short, I don't know if that answers your question, but my point is this: just make sure you go through the curriculum step by step. Don't rush. You're not in a rush. We're here for 12 months straight. We got lots of time to ensure well-oiled implementation. We got
Yeah.
lots of time to ensure you're going to build a good sales process. So
I'm so like antsy to just get this whole thing ready, because like everything you just described, that does take a lot of work. But I think it's just important to like do each step congruently, and as opposed to just like rush it all out.
And you know what, Adam? Rome was not built in a day. Okay. So, and let me tell you this as well. Everything that's worth it in this life is going to be difficult. If it's easy, it's not worth it. Everyone would do it, right? So like, think about it. Buying a Lamborghini and living in a beautiful detached home, in Thornhill or like, Forest Hill, that's not easy to do by yourself, right? Like from scratch, right? So, but is it worth it? Is it ideal to have that situation? Absolutely. So it's like, how can you do the difficult things that no one's willing to do to become that person, to do that, to accomplish those things and have that end state, that future state, that desired state. And that's all it is. So yeah, ultimately it is going to take work, but I'm going to be here every step of the way. I'm going to ensure you're successful. Adam, did you take a look at the asset reviews as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Those have been like, the fact that you guys offer that is such a huge plus. So thank you for offering that stuff.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So that's, so
So
if you ever create something, let's just say you create an asset, whether it be a VSL, whether it be like a testimonial page, whether it be a pitch deck, like a sales deck, whether it be like a lead gen system, whether it be like your nurture sequence, landing pages, advertisements, sales scripts, cold calling scripts, doesn't matter, man. Job posts, like anything you want, our team's going to review and ensure that it's actually kosher and it's going to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So where I'm planning on starting right now is, since I'm already running ads, I'm kind of taking those leads, but because I'm going to have new reps, it really just comes down to getting new outflows. So the way that I kind of did my prospecting before, I know you did like the type form on Google or whatever and just downloaded all those leads. But what we would do is we would go to like product hunts and we'd go on like Crunchbase, for example, and look for a bunch of leads that way because they're a little bit more qualified. But I wanted to know from your perspective, like data mining, I feel like is a bit risky, because like if you're trying to sell somebody, a $50,000 app where you literally develop the app that goes on their iOS store, Apple store, like doing a scrape on Google like that might not be as accurate. So how do you think, like, would you use a data miner for that, or how would you do the prospecting?
I love your question, man. So let me show you something. So to answer your question, when I said Google, I mean, we have different like data mining. Do you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, let's take a look at this. This is like, for all the mortgage agents in the call, this is how you got into our system. Okay. So we have, this is okay. And this is how you're going to set up your data mining spreadsheet. Okay. It's always set up like this. Okay. So here's what you do. So we got our guy, Eliezer. He's our guy. I hired him in the Philippines. And there's videos on how to hire these people, right? But I hired him in the Philippines, and this is what I did for him, right? I got Dominion Lending, I got Mortgage Alliance, I got Mortgage Architects, I got every major mortgage agent directory in Canada listed for him here, okay? And I also have every city that I want data from, right? Specific to like Ontario and all that kind of stuff. And I say, okay, look, here's my target list size. Eliezer, I want 2,000 people from Toronto. I want 500 people from Barrie. I want 500 people from Belleville, right? This isn't accurate. He hasn't updated this in a while, but theoretically every day he would come in here and let us know how many data, what amount of data he's building per day by adding it every single day. Okay, so today he did 17, then 22, right? But he's doing multiple spreadsheets. So he's not just working on one spreadsheet. He's actually working on a few spreadsheets. So this is, for example, a mortgage agent one from Ontario. And this is like him managing, so you can see percentage completed. What this is doing is it's actually looking at the total list size that he created, and it's benchmarking it against the target list size in giving him a completion rate, right? And then what you do is you pay them like $100 a month, but when they complete the list with accuracy, you give them a bonus. So it's like, okay, if this gets to 100%, then what you'll do is you'll give them like a $50 to $100 bonus just for hitting that, right? Always incentivize your people with cash incentive, with financial incentive for accomplishing certain KPIs, right? Now, the other thing is, this is the lead list, right? So if we scroll down, like look how many mortgage agents were data mined from just this just this one data miner, right? I have data miners like here, look, this is Alreen. Alreen is doing a few lists. She's doing an RCIC list, which is Regulated Canadian Immigration Consultants. This is her list. So she's ripping this list and she's building like RCIC lists, okay? And then as well, she's also doing, we also have a home renovation list, right? So same concept. This is Eliezer's second one. So he's working on this one as well, building home renovation customers into this list. So, and all I'm doing is and look, to answer your question, it's like this is an example of directory data mining. Okay. So what you said about Crunchbase, about, let's just say clutch.co, about all these different, directories, fantastic. Usually that data is a lot cleaner. So you're absolutely correct. And you know what? They did the scraping for you half the time, right? So for example, they'll go scrape online to find all these companies. They'll make a profile for them and then they'll be in Crunchbase, etc. Now, so that's home renovation. Now, if you were to look at let's just say like pest control, we sell a lot of SEO services to pest control. So I have another data miner named Cherry. Okay, she's based in the Philippines. She's just getting started. She actually hasn't filled this part yet. She hasn't been trained on this. I had one of my teammates train her on data mining, but anyway, she's new. So this is a new data miner. So this is what a new data miner has accomplished in pretty much the last week. Okay, so she's building list, first name, last name, mobile number, email, company name, location, website, industry, keywords searched in Google, right? Because I'm going to upload, see this column here, keyword searched in Google. That's a field in my Close.io as a custom lead field. So like when my sales rep gets a booked appointment with one of these people, my SDR hits them up, they book the appointment. My sales rep knows what keyword we searched in Google specifically and what page they were on, right? To get into our CRM, right? So if you're on page 2 of Google, if you're on page 3 of Google, if you're on page 4 of Google, no one is seeing your stuff, right? So you need search engine optimization. You need SEO to get to the first page of Google, correct? So that's why I am looking at these custom columns. Now, here's an example of an of a Google-based data mining list. Does that make sense? So with Google, I can get very granular as to what I want, right? And so I can say, okay, I want you to track the exact keyword you searched in Google, what page they were on, and also who the top SEO competitor was, meaning who was actually page 1, number 1. So when I call you and I bring that competitor up, it's like you already know who that person is. You already idolize them because they are on the first page of Google. So it's like you're more receptive to actually working with us. You're more receptive to actually listening to what we have to say. And so this is pest control, right? So this person would search keyword search in Google, pest control services in Los Angeles, California. That's what they searched. This lead was on page 9, meaning they're getting no visibility, right? And this was the top competitor that was page 1, number 1. You understand? So I can get very granular as to what kind of data I even want in the first place, right? Like you could be completely custom. Like I could add a column here and say, you're not only going to get me this data, but you're also going to find out the CEO's name. Okay, so you're going to find out the CEO's name by doing a LinkedIn cross-reference on Google. So they would have to do another search in Google. They would have to type in Peggy Hill, which is the company name, and find the CEO's name and then put that name here, put that number there if they can find it. And then let's just say I also wanted to track what the social media rating was, right? Let's just say I said rate them 1 to 10 based on how many followers they have, what kind of content they're developing on social media, right? I can literally get any kind of columns created and any kind of granular data I need within my contact records in Close.io or within my CRM to be able to smash the deal. You understand? Does that make sense?
Yeah, big time.
Okay. So I hope that answers the data mining question.
Yeah, big time. So essentially at this point, the way I kind of have my mind set up is I'll probably hire some data miners and people to just do cold calling and whatnot from the Philippines.
Absolutely.
And what I'll do is
I would say your next step, Adam, just go ahead and hire one data miner because trust me, they can build, and remember, a data miner should be able to do about 200 to 250 new leads a day, right? And if you're going to hire one SDR, I would say one data miner, one SDR to start, okay? And then I would say you do the closing to start as well.
Yeah,
and
for
then,
sure.
And once that process works, like your data miner needs to be a little bit ahead of your SDR because your SDR is going to call how many a day? Let's see if you remember.
300.
No, your SDR is going to call 100 a day. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the minimum. Okay. Because 100 calls a day is actually a lot. They're going to book you about 5 to 8 appointments, right? They could call more than 100 a day, but your data miner is going to build you about 200 to 300. That's correct. So your data miner has to data mine into your spreadsheet at least 200 to 300 a day, but your SDR in Close.io in your CRM is only going to call about 100 a day, right?
Mhm.
So what does that mean? That means your data miner needs to constantly be slightly ahead of your SDR. Does that make sense?
For sure. So with these 3 students that I'm hiring right now, in that case, I'm thinking, so to just summarize here, I'll have the 2 people from the Philippines, data miner and SDR, but then those 3 students, maybe I should just have them going off Crunchbase and more like curated lists like clutch.co.
Turn those guys into closers. That's what I would suggest. Don't hire SDRs on Canadian soil or American soil. It's just not worth it, right? Like it's not worth it for them because they're gonna churn really fast. And it's not worth it for you because you can outsource that 10 times cheaper offshore. You know what I mean? And
100%.
have way higher retention, because here's the thing, your SDRs, you're gonna have to train these guys. You're gonna have to build like, here's an example of a cold calling script that we give our SDRs, right? So we'll go ahead and say SDR, just like I showed you that 26-page sales script for closers. It's like, here's like a cold calling script for mortgage agents specifically, right? And I would give this to an SDR. And so look, I recorded myself. See this? I have an SDR right there. He's actually a new SDR. His name's Joseph. He's actually using this script. But anyways, most of my other SDRs, they're trained. They don't need this anymore because they're ramped up, right? You're trying to retain these people long haul. So they learn your business. They know how to offer it. They know how to cold call for you, all that kind of stuff, right? But here's what I do. I literally recorded myself using the same script here for the sake of cold calling a lead, right? And I recorded myself doing it. So it's like when they do it, they also have the objection handling. If someone says, send me more information, all that kind of stuff, it's in here for the SDR as well. So it's a pretty turnkey operation. And when you want high retention on the SDRs with a low cost payment, you're not paying a lot for those appointments. And then your closers who are on Canadian soil, those people, you should be like nurturing. You should be building a sports atmosphere around them. You should be like, hosting daily meetings with your SDRs and your closers and training them on how to close deals, building an advanced sales process for them, give them a VSL, give them a nice pitch deck, train them on that stuff, build your master sales script for them, make it easy, take away all the guessing so that you can literally hire people that don't know anything about any of this stuff and turn them into superstars.
Yeah, so that will definitely take time, but I agree with you. With the people on Canadian soil, what I was thinking about doing is what software do you use to do automated LinkedIn messages? Because what I could do is I could just have those people respond to all the leads that we get from LinkedIn. So I don't have to handle that essentially. And they don't have to just like bash their head against the wall, just like sending the same message like 100 times a day.
Okay, let me get you that right now. I'm just gonna send you and then Adam, I'll throw you back after as a attendee, okay? So
Yeah, for sure. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, man. I hope I helped you there a little bit.
Big time. I felt like I was taking too much time, but this is helpful.
Oh, no worries. Like it's first come, first serve, right? So like the people who really need stuff answered, like absolutely just make sure you throw it in there and I'm going to be your guy. I'm going to make sure that this gets answered. Okay. So guys, check the chat. Okay. So to answer your question, Adam, and I'm going to reiterate the question so everyone understands what you just asked. He just asked me, what LinkedIn automation tool am I using to run outbound offers every single day from my LinkedIn account and from my sales reps accounts to hit the people I need to hit, which are CEOs, mortgage agents, real estate agents, right? These are the type of people I work with. To hit those people every day with outbound cold messages with a little link saying book a call, right? So I use a tool called salesflow.io. So check the chat. I just put in the link. Make sure you guys sign up for that. If you don't need to sign up for it now and you need to build your sales process first, I suggest go build your sales process first. Once you build that out and you have an intricate sales process and you're ready to start pumping out outflows and you're ready to start conducting those offers and start diversifying and driving leads to the pipeline, at that point, you're going to need SalesFlow. You're going to be able to run automated outreach on LinkedIn, targeting people. It's going to be amazing. You're going to absolutely love it. And remember, I told you guys, it's all about outflows. The more outflows you do, the more inflows you get. You're going to have your SDR cold calling 100 times a day. That's 100 outflows. You're going to have your LinkedIn account sending about 50 messages a day. That's another 50. So we're at 150 outflows now. Now you're going to have your SDR also sending about 50 cold emails a day, right? Targeting the same leads and fresh leads. That's another 50 outflows. That's about 200 outflows now every day going out. Now, if you can stack another SDR, it's another 200, right? Then you got your Facebook ads going, driving, let's just say, getting more eyeballs, driving, let's just say another, I don't know, 10 to 15 leads a day, because you're spending a little bit, but now you have this diversified array of outflows pumping out, pushing all the offers to the same calendar. Okay. And that same calendar could propagate to your sales reps as a round robin calendar, or that calendar can be your personal calendar. It doesn't matter, but those outflows need to be going out in high volume, and they need to be going out in very, very diligent consistency. Okay. Every day your outflows should be pumped out. If there's a day that goes by where there's no outflows in your organization, guess what? You just lost a lot of money that day. And that money didn't get lost today, the day that you lacked the outflows. It got lost because had you done those outflows today, you would have had additional leads in your pipeline, and those additional leads would have closed a week later or 2 weeks later. So you understand the importance of consistent outflows, yeah?
Yeah, big time.
Okay.
One just administrative question is, I'm in London, England. So the Monday meetings are at 7 p.m., which is like 12 p.m. my time. I'm not sure, I don't want to make you switch the time or anything, but in regards to actually getting those, that's kind of a bit inconvenient for me. So is there a way I could get the recording or something like that?
Absolutely. So Rishi actually, when last Rishi's question, I kind of chimed in on that a little bit. It was, so Thursdays, we're going to do this. This is, remember, implementation is the number one thing. That's why I love Thursdays, because I also get to connect with you guys, get to know you guys, that kind of stuff, right? But really, it's Mondays, it's you don't actually have to be on that call, Adam, because the mic is not open on Mondays, right? The chat is open on Mondays, so you guys can so I'll go through a lecture, and then we'll open the floor to questions via chat on Mondays, and so I'll answer those at the end of the lecture. But really, it's not the same as today, where it's Thursdays are hyper implementation, you guys get mic time and all that. So to answer your question, you don't actually need to be there on Mondays every time that session's recorded. Sometimes it's not even going to be a new lesson on Monday, and I might, just because I'm sensing that we need more implementation, I might say, okay, this week's Monday class is not a new lecture, it's actually an implementation one as well, just like Thursday. And then I'll have Divi send out an email to everyone to actually go ahead and let everyone know that Monday is going to be implementation again, so you guys know to show up. But anyways, it's kind of fluid. If it's a new lecture, it's going to be added to the curriculum. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Okay, my man. Glad to meet you. Glad to have you here. And yeah, it's going to be a fun ride. Okay. All right. I'm going to disable you now, put you back as attendee, and let's go ahead and see who is next here. Rishi, wow, man, this is awesome. I was currently doing everything myself and going nuts. I look forward to learning what to do. Woohoo! That's it, man. And look, the whole part of being an entrepreneur, becoming a realtor, becoming a mortgage agent, you don't work for anyone, right? You're an entrepreneur. You got to get your own bread. You got to hunt for your own meat so you can feed the village, right? So it's the whole goal of entrepreneurship is to not be in the business ever. The whole goal is so that Rishi's chilling on a beach in Curacao or something, and he's just relaxing. And sure, he's available for calls if needed, right? But it's this nomadic sort of outlook on your entrepreneurial career. It's you don't need to be in a specific location at a specific time anymore, because you have the agents, you have the SDRs, you have the sales process, you have the case studies, you have this well-oiled machine, you have the paid ads going out. It's all working for you to not have to be in the business anymore, but rather you work on the business. Does that make sense? Okay. And I'm excited that you're here, excited that you said that. It's fantastic. Guys, if this session at all gave you any value, do me a favor, make a post in the Facebook group. Just say, wow, did my first session. Here's what I would say, just for because I'm going to use that for the sake of showcasing to new customers that need to get access to this type of information. So if you guys could just, if I wowed you in any way, and I'm not done here, so we're going to keep going through the questions, but if I wowed you in any way and you're new, just let the rest of the team know, what kind of experience you had. Just go ahead and post in the Facebook group. That's it. That's all I ask. Okay. And I'm not asking for a testimonial. You don't have to say, oh, I made $100,000 million yet. Because the only time I'll ask you for a video testimonial is if you actually made a ton of money. And I've done that for a lot of people, and they do that for me, right? So they take care of testimonials for me, because if you're going to achieve that result, the expectation is, look, it's a circle of life, right? I help you, you help me, vice versa, right? And that's how we want to set this up. So exactly the plan. Do we have access to the scripts? So Rishi, yes, we do. We do have access to the scripts. So inside the curriculum, there's going to be, some of them are like, okay, like sales power lines, sales close lines. Remember those scripts that I showed you? I said, okay, here's like the rebuttals, here's the master sales script, here's the SDR sales script. So all that's actually already in the curriculum, okay? And you could actually go through that directly. So I would say first set up all, so there's actually a module like called the foundation, the basics and getting started. That's essentially what you want to look at first before you get into like sales scripts, lead generation, outflows, marketing. The first thing you need to do is build the intricate process that leads to high close rates, high show rates, and high conversion, right? Once you have that sales process developed and the CRM process and everything's talking to each other with Zapier, you got your email nurture sequences, effectively going out to the right people. Once you have that system built, it's like, at that point, sure, let's go amplify. Let's go get the offers out there. Let's go run as many outflows as possible. Let's go look at the sales scripts. Let's train our guys. Let's make sure everything's good. But if you're trying to get an SDR as soon as possible, which I always tell people, get an SDR as fast as possible. Get your data miner, get your SDR, and get your CRM set up as fast as humanly possible. Because that's a process on its own right there. You don't need paid ads to do that. You don't need a VSL to do that. You don't need anything. You don't need a nurture sequence to do that. All those things later on will add tremendous value to what you're building. But a simple process could be, okay, I need to mine data. I need data to be mined. I need SDRs hitting up that data. So I need one SDR to book in that data. And then what I also need is I need a CRM that makes that entire process for everyone tremendously easy, right? That's it. And if you have your CRM, you have your data miner, and you have your SDR, that cold calling initiative is already happening on its own, regardless of your VSL, your testimonials, your nurture sequence, your retargeting ads, your intricate sales process. It's not needed as much, right? So my point is that you can actually get started with that micro process. I don't want to call it a micro process because we're doing that on a macro level. Like cold calling is a huge part of my businesses, right? I have a couple companies. We have variance marketing. We got the Dealflow Academy. We also got modern day cannabis. I own a dispensary chain. So it's at the end of the day, we're going to be starting lots more companies too. So the same processes, they apply to any kind of service business, any kind of business whereby you have a pipeline and you need to fill that pipeline. Okay. Our companies for specific industries. Yeah, absolutely. So Rishi, Divi is she's going to onboard you. She's essentially going to be your liaison between me and you, right? So how that works is anything administratively that you need, any kind of piece of advice that you need, if you need to hop on an ad hoc call with Divi, you can do that, right? She's well-trained. She knows our stuff. She works with me on the agency side as well. And we get paid like $20,000, $30,000 a month for those agency clients. So she's helping me manage those clients. She's our digital project manager as well. So she's doing a lot of stuff for us. So she's well-versed on this stuff, right? And if you ever need something, like let's just say I go over some specific thing, the idea is that she would be, if you needed that thing, she'd be the person to send it out. She'd be the person to make announcements. She's kind of like the communication liaison. And then we have Thursdays for direct communication with me. And then we have Facebook group where I actually literally will just answer your questions via the Facebook group, open source, so that everyone can see the answer and so that everyone can actually chime in and answer it if they have the answer as well. Fresh perspectives are nice, but I'm going to answer every question in the Facebook group as well. So I want to start getting that going. Well, she'll be able to help me
with who to data mine, etc. Yeah, so you don't need her for who to data mine. Like that's in the curriculum, right? So you just watch the data mining video. It's all the videos are like super step by step. It's like to the point where it's like every single thing that you need to know. Sorry, I keep getting these calls. Every single thing that you need to know with regards to data mining is actually already built out into the curriculum. So all you need to do is hop on Thursdays with me so that if you have an implementation question around data mining, I'm here to get that solved for you, right? But should you have a specific question that's like, let's just say on a Sunday, and you don't want to wait till Thursday because you got Monday tomorrow, and then you got to get your SDR started. And I get that people are running businesses, it's not all, let's wait till next week kind of thing. I get it. So with that being said, post in the Facebook group or show up on Monday and throw it in the chat, and then I'll go ahead and answer it. But ultimately, it's a pretty well-oiled machine. We're going to see a lot of each other. This is just the beginning, guys. Like you guys got 12 months of this stuff, and you've only seen Thursday. You haven't seen Monday. And I see Yitzhak here. Hey, Yitz, how's it going? Good to see you, man. Perry, good to see you. Omer, good to see you guys. So we're missing a lot of people just because we didn't start off on Monday this week. I was just, my flight got delayed, so we were on vacation. So Mitt's not here. Sherry Lee's not here. A few people aren't here. In which case they will join on Monday. I'll make an announcement. So got it. First thing I need to do is get through the curriculum. Yes, sir. So don't hammer the curriculum, Rishi. Okay. So what I mean by that is don't just go through it in like this YouTube video sort of mentality. Like, let me just watch it and gain the info. And yeah, I'm equipped with the knowledge. No, watch it, pause it along the way. Don't even watch the next minute of that same video if you found something valuable and you need to implement that thing. You know what I mean? So it's like watch, implement, watch, implement, watch, implement, watch, implement. Don't, because it's going to get really overwhelming very quickly if you just consume. If you're just consuming and you're like, oh shit, now I'm twiddling my thumbs because I'm like, oh wow, he has an intricate sales process. He knows what he's doing from a sales and marketing perspective, but it's like, how do I apply that to my business now? No, it's gonna be very confusing if you do that way. Just go, okay, basics and getting started. Here's what I need to set up now. Let me do that, right? Here's what I need to set up next. Let me do that. And like, look, it'll take time to set up some of this stuff. Some of the stuff takes literally like 3 hours to set up. Some of the stuff takes 1 hour. Some of the stuff takes 10 minutes. And some of the stuff takes like a week, right, to set up because it's so intricate, requires a lot of thought. You know what I mean? But ultimately, I do give you tons of templates. I do give you tons of resources to be able to use, starting points and all that stuff. So VSL templates, we got, landing page templates, we got, nurture sequences, we got closing scripts, sales scripts, cold calling scripts, data mining templates, lead magnet templates, like it's all in there. So just go through it one by one. Any questions, I would absolutely be able to send those out. And so if there's any missing templates yet, what I'm going to do is I'm going to have Divi send them off. So we actually send those off via email. So last week we actually sent off, I believe it was not last week, but the week before, we sent off a purchase analyzer. So that's an example for mortgage agents to have a lead magnet template, right? So you don't need to go source out and create your own lead magnet now, because we already have this spreadsheet that we sent out that you just have to rebrand. And now as a mortgage agent, you can actually advertise that lead magnet. So my point is that these templates also come in on a rolling basis too. Like Mondays, we're going over new lectures. So it's going to be a thing where, hey, sometimes there's a new template that we go over because there's a new concept that's being developed that I already have in my marketing agency. I'm already developed in my business. I just haven't gone through it in the Dealflow Academy yet. So in which case we do that on a Monday. I'll issue that template. Okay. So yes. And Rishi, when you say copy this, do you mean this recording? Just give me a thumbs up if you mean this recording. Okay. Recording and template. Okay. Yeah. So so you mean the purchase analyzer. Okay, yeah, so I'll make a note. Okay, fantastic. So when's your call with Divi? Is that today? Tomorrow, 11 a.m. Okay. And that's second call number 2, or is that call number 1? Second call. Okay, great. So, all right. So she is able to, I'll have her actually send that out directly to anyone who needs it. So does anyone need that as well? Because we already sent that off before, but if anyone needs that as well, just put it in now, put it in the chat now that you need the purchase analyzer as well. Okay, you'd like to get it as well. Okay, so Adam, We have Rishi. Everyone else should have it. But if you don't, just go put it in the chat now, just so I know. I'm going to mark down who needs it. All right. So the recording, I'm gonna have this recording uploaded. No problem. I'll have it sent out. So upload recording for Thursday, and then purchase analyzer. And that's just for mortgage agents. So if you're not a mortgage agent, the purchase analyzer wouldn't make sense for you, but purchase analyzer is going to go to Rishi. It's going to go to Adam. I'll send it to you anyways, just so you have it, so you understand like how creative lead magnets should be. So don't just say, oh, download this guide on how to do this, right? Like that's old school stuff, right? Like downloading guides and whatnot. You should be able to do like, here's this like spreadsheet, or here's this like tool calculator thing that you can use that's going to like help you do this, right? So I'm in sales and marketing. I might give people like a pipeline calculator. I might give people like a revenue, a churn calculator, right? If you're in SaaS and you have to reverse engineer what lead magnet your customer finds valuable, right? Okay, so Omer, you want it as well. So Omer, I'm gonna send that to you, man. Let's get that going. Okay. Anyone else? Last call before we close off the call here. Does anyone else need the purchase analyzer? It's only for mortgage agents. Okay, looks like that's it. So I'll go ahead and I'll have that sent off. And then, yeah, if there's anything else, guys, any questions or concerns, you guys just go ahead and throw that in the Facebook group. I'd love to assist with that. And then, yeah, and then ultimately it was a great session. I hope you got value. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for your time. Have an amazing day. Let's crush it today. Let's actually do a great job. Go start setting stuff up. For the new people, go through the basics and the foundation first, implement, let's build a process, and then let's start amplifying and driving people through the pipeline, okay? All right, guys, thank you so much. Have an amazing day, and you guys should expect an email from Divi with the recording and the purchase analyzer, okay? Thank you so much, guys. Cheers. See you on Monday.